maker of heaven and earth, help us to give glory in everything we do. Bless us and let it bring the people together. Help us to gain benefits from being here together. You are with us in every transition and change. You have given us so many opportunities to learn and be successful in academics. You are the one who has walked us towards this success and never abandoned us. As we enter into this new event, we expect your deep compassion, presence, and abundant love. We thank you for the talents and skills with which you have blessed us. We have you. We thank you for this experience that have brought us to this moment. We have thank you for the work of others that give breadth and depth to our own work. Be with us as we move forward. We ask we ask this in our holy name. Amen. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Over to
you, sir.
you.
Thank you, sir. A gathering should always be cheerfully welcomed with a happy smile. I would like to call upon Mrs. R. Bhatmapriya, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, to cordially welcome the gathering. Please, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening to one and all present here. On behalf of Faculty Development Program team, I would like to present the welcome address on this wonderful occasion. First of all, I spread most sincere thanks to the Almighty for His abundant blessings. I take this golden opportunity to welcome our honorable dignitaries, Chief Patron, most respected Reverend Father G. Peter Rajendram, Secretary, Professor Dr. M. Arumaiselvam, Principal, Professor Dr. J. John Orakira, Vice Principal and Convener of this FDP, Reverend Father Dr. S. Xavier, Controller of Examination and one of the resource person of this FDP, Reverend Father Dr. A. Alex, Dean of Studies and Coordinator of this FDP, Dr. P. James Mary, Dean of Evening College. Welcome you, Fathers, Sirs and Madam. Next, I would like to welcome our resource person, Professor Dr. B. Prasanna Venkatesan, Department of Banking Technology, Pondicherry University. Welcome you, sir. Further, I would like to welcome our respected department HODs, faculty members from various colleges, and our FDP organizing secretaries. Welcome, sirs and madams. Once again, I am very happy to welcome you all for this gathering, and I need your fullest cooperation throughout this session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your delightful welcome address. Felicitation is inspiration to others and motivation to whom you are felicitating. I'm happy to welcome Dr. M. Arumaiselvam, sir, Principal and Head of the Department of Computer Science, to deliver the words of felicitation. Please, sir.
Thank you, Madam Bhuneswari. Most respected Reverend Father Secretary, respected Vice Principal Dr. John Araikiraj, Reverend Father Xavier, Controller of Examinations, Reverend Father Dr. Alex, Coordinator of this program, most respected resource person, Dr. Prasanna Venkatesan from Pondicherry University, organizing secretaries, Mr. Punya Seelan, Dr. Venkatesan, Dr. Bhuneswari, and Mrs. Bhatmapriya, dear participants and respected Dr. Satya Narayana Prayatam, who is also attending this program, and Dr. Prem Kumar, former faculty of our college, and dear participants, wish you all a very happy and good evening. First of all, I would like to congratulate and also appreciate Dr. John Arakiraj, the board convener, and Reverend for Dr. Alex, the coordinator, for arranging this faculty development program. Really, this faculty development program is need of the hour. About the program is about the papers, research papers, how we should make it as a quality paper. Everything we are going to listen from the resource persons. I would like to thank all the resource persons, particularly today's resource person, Dr. Prasanna Venkatesan from Pondicherry University, who is going to give a very effective information for the research scholars. I hope this will be very useful for all the participants. With these few words, once again, I would like to congratulate I also appreciate Dr. John Arikraj and Reverend Dr. Alex for arranging this program. I also invite all the participants actively participate in this webinar and receive many useful information. Thank you. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. A resourceful person can see opportunity when others only see obstacles. I would like to call upon Dr. R. Rajkumar, sir, Assistant Professor, Department of PBM, to introduce our resource person. Please, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to everyone. It is my immense pleasure to introduce the chief guest of this day, Dr. V. Prasanna Venkatesan, sir, for the 5 days international FTP program. He is now working as a professor in the Department of Banking Technology, Pondicherry University. He has received a BSc Physics from the University of Madras, Chennai. He has also completed the MCA degree from Pondicherry University, MTech and PhD from Pondicherry University, both in computer science and engineering. He has over 27 years of experience in teaching and research experience in the field of computer science and engineering and banking technology. He has developed an architectural reference model for multilingual software. His research interests include object-oriented modeling and design, banking technology, service-oriented architect, smart banking, and business intelligence. He has guided more than 6 students from the PhD, 6 scholars of PhD, and he is guiding more number of PhD scholars and MBA students in the field of computer science, engineering, and banking technology. He has published enough number of research papers in the highly recognized journal like IEEE Transactions, Elsewhere, InterScience, and other top journals of the world. He has received the Best Teacher Award for the academic year in the 2015 and 16 from Pondicherry University, and he has received a citation award for 33rd edition of Marcus from WHO. He has received 1,215 citation index for his publication. His H index is 16 and I-10 index is 24. He is one of the technical member in the Indian and foreign universities. He has also have a research work as recognized in the Center for Machine Learning and Intelligent Systems from the University of California, USA. In this regard, I warmly welcome him for this second day of this FTP program. Thank you, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we are very eager to listen to your presentation of how to present a quality research paper, sir. Sir, over to you, the resource persons. Prasanna Venkatesan, sir, please proceed, sir.
Good evening to all. My voice is audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening to all once again, and my appreciation and thanks to the entire team who is organizing this workshop by the college, and specifically, very particularly Father Alex, who is behind me and pushed me to give a lecture in this occasion. So thanks to the entire team and especially to Father Alex. And here, I appreciate all the participants, your keen interest on knowing what is happening around us and what we can do with research. So my appreciation for that. And here, whatever I'm going to talk, so I'm not going to, so I'm just putting some disclaimer like I'm not guardian of the quality. I'm just a passion oriented towards quality, aspirant of quality. And also, I am also one among you. Like, so every day I feel I am today only I started my research, that kind of feel I have. So every day I look forward, I am keep on learning. Okay. So whatever I experienced, whatever I come across, whatever we lead to you do quality research, I'm trying to present you. Okay. So my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Yeah, very good. The title itself, you can understand, marching towards quality research. I have not put a title like achieving quality research. The reason is, I'll tell there is a justification behind it. Later I'll tell you. And I'm a professor in the Department of Banking Technology. The department is a very niche department in Pondicherry University, which is an interdisciplinary department of technology, management, and banking and finance. Okay, so it is only one department in the country, and which offers MBA Banking Technology and MBA Financial Technology. So with this few words about my background, and I'll just move further. So it is this quote is for us to move forward in our life. There is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Just imagine who invented a safety pin, who invented a wheel, who invented making a fire, who invented how to build a car, who invented how to make a rocket, who invented how to make a computer. So each one took us to a higher leap, and today we are in the peak of IT revolution and data revolution. Okay, so in this scenario, so we try to enter into our topic. Here I am going to put it in a very broad way in three categories: what, where, and how. What happened to this quality of research? Where is the problem with the quality of research, and how we can achieve that quality of research? So in these three aspects I'm going to speak. So one by one I will go. Before that, if I talk too much technical, if you find something jargon, you can stop and ask me also. Sir, please explain anything, because I'm a bit biased to technology. Okay. So we'll move with what? So the major players of research. The major players of research is the main players of research is the researcher, specifically the scholars or the individual researchers, or the person who want to carry out the research independently, or he may be a research associate, he may be a senior researcher in a lab. So anything. Here, whatever I'm talking, I'm not talking about industrial research, I'm talking about academic research. So the research supervisor, he who is keen on guiding the researcher, the research scholar, and putting him in the right track, and his knowledge and his experience, his expertise makes the entire journey of the research scholar in a better way. And the institution, which is keen on delivering a better research, quality research to the society and to the country, in order to make the institution better and also the country better. The governing bodies like UGC or higher education or AICTE or departments, certain departments which are all falling under and governing specific programs. So depending upon those governing bodies also impose some conditions on research. Some they may put some constraints on research, like you have to deliver this, you have to do this, you have to reach this mark. Okay, so these are all they are also a part of major players, main players. And at the end of the day, the society also pushes us to take up some research, to work on something, to make something, to deliver on something. So these are all the main players. Just with some paradigm, I'll go. Say, like, for example, we want to make a food. We need some ingredients, and we need a chef, and we need assistant. We need the organization, the hotel or the restaurant which is doing it, and we need the governing bodies like food cells or food control cells, and the society which is consuming it at the end of the day. Okay, these are all the main players, because for the society only we are doing everything. If the society is not going to accept something, we are not going to do anything. Okay. So it is completely, it is like what we get it from the society and what we deliver to the society. So maybe directly or sometimes indirectly. Okay, so these are all the main players who does everything. And there are secondary players, a lot of exhibiting platforms like conferences, workshops, colloquiums, where the researchers go and they exhibit their work. And other than that, a lot of publishing platforms like you can publish in journals and in a national level, international level, regional level, or it may be like a kind of publishing the research research chapters. You may publish research chapters, so monographs, research reports. So a lot of publishing platforms are available, and funding agencies, various funding agencies which will promote research, like our UGC, generally our UGC, MHRDA funds, like so I got a fund from NTRO, National Technical Research Organization, and DIT, and social science, they have their own funding agency. So many funding agencies are there, government and non-government, private, and multiple funding agencies are there. And there are various standards organizations also available to make, to control over, to channelize, to make it better, and to take to the next level. Various standards organizations also there in order to achieve things. The standards organizations, like various organizations which does indexing, and they set standards, and they frequently evaluating the research, and they are giving reports. So sorry. So various people, various way of evaluating the quality of the research, and they give different perceptions to the research, and these people are they establish the standards, and the peers are the co-institutions or co-researchers sorry, co-researchers, and co-universities or co-researchers from various countries. So these are all peers which they are also pushing us to move forward and to do the research in a better way. So these are all the secondary players, and these players are with the same example I'll go. So you make a food, the food may be exhibited with a food festival, and you can make it as a special food. Sorry. And funding agencies like funding agencies like various organizations which will support your restaurant, or which will promote, which will take forward, like venture capital, they'll put in your organization. And the standards organization, as I mentioned already, like FoodSale or something. And the peers are competitors in the society who pushes you to move forward. Okay, so this is the playground. In this playground, we are there, and various organizations are there, various platforms are there, various agencies are there. We have to play with them, and with a kind of quality what we want to express and we want to deliver. So with this, we'll move further. So what we deliver, end of the day, in the research, what we deliver. So we deliver a lot of presentations, a lot of publications in a conference or workshop, or different mode we'll do, the colloquiums we'll do. And journal publications, like we'll make a regional, national, and like international, we'll do publications. And various monographs we'll publish in various, as a chapters or as a part of a book or something we'll publish. And we'll publish the patents. If it is a patentable work you have done, and you can patent that, and patents are one of the very good deliverables, and that will even it will generate the revenue for you and your organization. And we may develop products, tools, techniques, which may be commercially used. Example for products like so various research done in the Unix is an academic product basically, and later it will be taken by the industry. And tools like various tools were generated, designed in an institution. Later it is moved to the industry. And the techniques, various techniques like CMM level. This CMM level is MIT's, what is that? Carnegie Mellon University, CMU's contribution, Software Engineering Institute's contribution, CMU level. So these are all various deliverables. Start somewhere out of research. They'll mature, and once they got some level, certain level of maturity, they'll be releasing, and even they will be versioning like. So this is the version 1, version 2, version 3. They'll be releasing. So these are all deliverables of our research. So what standards are there to check your research is good or bad or right or wrong? So here we have some standards like we have indexing. We'll put in right indexing the journals so that it will be recognized and it will be read by many reputed institutions all over the world, and the publication will be acknowledged in a very proper way. So this is a kind of like what branding you are doing, whether it is Scopus or Web of Science or where you are putting, what kind of indexing you are putting, that makes it. And scoring, a lot of scoring mechanisms are there. Many organizations are there for scoring this standards organization. They give a research scoring. So this research scoring is different from indexing because the scoring here is they see in a different aspect. They take these publications as one other aspect, and they see the collaborations of the researcher with other researchers and how he shares his research and what kind of projects he is carrying out, and who are all acknowledging him, who are all recommending him, all makes a kind of they convert everything into a score, and this they call as a research score. So this kind of scoring mechanisms are available. There are some ranking mechanisms. Periodically, some organizations will be taking various indexes, various scores, and they'll build their own model, and they'll try to rank the scientists, and they'll say that this is the top 100 scientists from various institutions. Like that, these kind of rankings will be periodically done. So these are all some standards related to research. So here, these are all there. Then what is the problem actually? So what is there? We have seen. So we have seen the major players, primary players, secondary players, and what we are delivering it and what are the standards available. So we have seen this. So here with this, everything is fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we move to the next question. Where is this? Where the problem starts? Where the quality issue starts? It looks everything is fine. Like okay, it's very standard. So you start your research. Your guide is there. Your institution is supporting. Your organization is supporting. Your agencies are supporting, and the funding is there. If there is any funding facility, the funding is there, and everything is fine. Where the question of quality comes into. So all these are all in place. There are deliverables also identified, and the deliverables are also there, and the standards are also put in place, and we check the standards. So we feel like everything is so. I got some H index, like I got some good H index. I'm happy, right? Okay, fine. I'm a good researcher, I can say. But this is okay. This is fine. That's all. Everything is settled here. So that we are starting as where is the problem actually to achieve the better quality. So the problem again, it is with the players, as I mentioned. The players, when I say all the major primary players and secondary players, all are a part of this problem, the quality problem. The researcher, what kind of problem he has? So the researcher can have an objective of I want a PhD or I want a quality research. This confusion will be there always. So if a researcher settles with, so I want a PhD, the research quality will be compromised there. So the compromise starts. So research supervisor, he has his own peer pressure. He may be having his promotion, or he may be looking for other opportunity where he may require some completed research candidates. So he may be pushed towards like completing his research or whatever he wants to do little more, but he is compromising and he is delivering some certain level. So a compromise starts. Institution also pressurized. So many institutions to get the national wise ranking. So a lot of ranking mechanisms are there. A lot of funding mechanisms are there. The funding agencies are looking for these scores and ranks. So naturally, the institutions are pushed towards they want to check with the peers. So the next institution is doing well. They are doing a lot of research, and they are making so many. They are producing so many PhDs, and they are making so many number of publications. And the publications also, the numbers and the Scopus and Psi index are very high, and the overall H index of the institution is high. So like that, it starts. So the peer pressure starts. So automatically they set some standards. Many of you know, or many of you will agree with me. Many institutions are putting condition that every semester or every year you have to make so many number of Scopus publication or Psi publication, or you have to do some patenting or some kind of constraints they impose on the scholars or the supervisors or any form of researchers. So this is because we cannot blame the institution, because they are also facing this pressure by the peers. And the governing bodies are UGC or something. They want to settle with some quality, so they start with some kind of recognition. Say this time they say publications are must initially, then publications in the recognized UGC recognized journals, and publications with now a new list of journals which are all in the Scopus and Psi index plus something more. And who decides that? What makes it? All this makes a kind of incompleteness. So every time a kind of standard is there. Every kind a kind of. So what standard we are going to reach is it is evolving. There is no doubt. It is incomplete still. So this also, there is a kind of bit of compromise happens in this process, overall process. And the society also, what happens in the society, society, how they push things. Best example how the society acts towards research. Just if you take an Indian scenario, India is we are the pioneer and research in various fields. You know that in any field, if you talk in the ancient world, we have all standards we set. But in today's scenario, we started compromising. We are commercialized. We are internationalized. We are compromised with various business models. So what happened? So majority of the students were put into engineering. Majority of the engineering students going for MNC job. So the remaining people only will coming for, or very small group of people who I want to do basic science, I want to do this. So this limits the contribution or the proportion of students in various disciplines. This limits, and automatically the number of researchers and the quality of researchers are all changing. So a kind of bias in the society makes the research quality to pull down. So many of arts and science faculties and researchers may feel that, okay, this kind of compromise has happened here, and this is the issue we are facing. And like engineering also, again, a problem. Like if you go PG level, nobody is joining. Majority doesn't join. Like all are running towards their job, and they want to settle somewhere. So this model itself has a problem. So naturally, all are biased towards a job and settlement. So the research is set apart. But if you see in the ancient India, we have a kind of researching mechanism is always there. All today's standards we are talking, you know about Tamil and Sangha Palagai used in Madurai Tamil Sangam. So a quality poet has to sit on the Sangha Palagai in the Patramariculum and if he delivers the poetry, whatever he created, and if it is good, the Sangapalaka will accept him. Otherwise, it will shrink and he will fall down in the pond. So these kind of checks are already there. So it is not new to us. The quality imposing is not new to us. But slowly we were misled. Slowly we were commercialized. So slowly we were taken by this internationalization. So all these are all part of the issues of whatever we are facing in lifestyle, health, and other things. Research also got similar impacts in the whatever happened in the society. Research also got affected by this. And the other side, exhibiting platform, conferences. Naturally, the various institutions are pushed towards like you have to do this many number of conferences, this many number of events, this many number of workshops, this many number of faculty. So naturally, they are pushed. So they have to do. They are. So one point of time, like really, it will be tedious. Like how many programs are there? How many during the Corona time? I have seen like so many webinars. I have seen so many webinars. So end of the day, what we gained out of it, what is the quality of that? That makes a lot of sense. So that makes a lot of sense. So this exhibiting platform also pushed towards that. So the organizations are pushed like you have to conduct a conference like that. Again, publishing platform, even very popular journals are debated, questioned, and a lot of complaints against very popular journals also there. And if you see the funding agencies, the bias in funding, bias in there is a strong big cry like you are funding only national important institutions or not you are not funding the next level of institutions, and that kind of fight and all happening in funding agencies also. Standards organization, they have many times they are moving up and moving down. That creates a lot of vacuum in the quality research. And the peers, as I already mentioned, like you are pushing your peer is pushing you, and both are running for numbers, the quantity, then the quality. So all this creates the big problem in the quality compromise. So this compromise, so we can say that we are reaching quality, but we are not achieving the quality. We are moving towards that, but we are not achieving the quality. So what happens like this? So we are talking about a lot of indexes, a lot of we are talking about a lot of scores, and we are ranks and other things. Then where it is compromised? Just for information's sake, I am sharing some references. So the biggest question is where the problem starts, the compromising the quality. So due to pressure, due to quicker completion, due to publication, faster publication, due to some personal reasons, social reasons, the quality is put in the corner. Okay. So here I want to point out some important things like this is one research paper again, accuracy of citation data in Web of Science and Scopus. So we strongly believe Scopus and Web of Science is the ultimatum. And we even today, you know that in many organizations, whether in the application criteria for in the educational institutions for the job, they say like how many SciIndex paper you are having, how many Scopus index you are having. That may be a criteria also in many institutions. So, but what is actually the citation data? I have taken few snippets. You can read the paper. I have given the reference at the end. The citation data suffers from inaccuracies both in Web of Science and in Scopus. Missing references are quite significant problem in Web of Science. So in the Web of Science, a lot of missing references are there. The problem of incorrect references is even more serious. So if it is incorrect reference, then the reference, whatever quoted in the paper, right or wrong, nobody knows. So if it is not right, then based on the statement, some decision, some steps are taken in the paper, whether that step is right or wrong, nobody knows. So So the quality compromise starts what you refer, where you refer, whether it is valid, whether it is proper. So this problem needs to be fixed urgently. This is the recommendation by the author, and this is about Web of Science. And in Scopus, the citation matching algorithm seems to need a lot of improvement. So there is some compromise in the citation matching algorithm. So that because of this compromise, lot of duplicate publications represents an important, it is there and represents the important data quality problem in Scopus that requires serious attention. So duplicate publications, references, citations may be possible, and that is a major problem. The author is pointing out about the Scopus. Okay. Again, I will come to the another factor. Whatever you claim as this is the best as H-index. So the slavery of the H-index, measuring the unmeasurable. This H-index when I started my research, it was not there. Now it is somewhere around 2005-06. Sometime it started coming into the surface, and later 8, 9, 10, that kind of stuff. It got its own reputation. Initially, like a kind of measure, it started coming. Later, it take a lead seat, and now it is a primary measuring mechanism. And even myself, when I become a professor, so I want to check myself, like what is the international standard of process H-index range. So they say like between 10 to 20 is a good H-index for any process in any institution. They say in the international level, they say. So, but what is the problem with this H-index? So they say like measuring the unmeasurable. That is the title of the paper, The Slavery of the H-index, measuring the unmeasurable. So it has a lot of gap. It has like whether you have continuously worked, whether you have your number of articles which is highly cited is covered or not. Which is so what happens is actually like many articles, that is not sufficient to have authored many articles. So they may be made only limited articles, but with more index, the more citations, and that is some of them have been extensively cited. Rather, somebody may be more article with very proper citations he will be having, very limited citations he will be having, and which is better, which is not better. So a quality can be measured by only the numbers or the field of expertise. So these kind of differences and this kind of like any research gap is there, how it is addressed? No addressing is there. Like what we can do is we can measure for this period, how many, the last 5 years, last 10 years, like that we can measure. But is there any period you have to omit? There is no mechanisms are provided, directly not provided. You have to make your own provision for that. So this H-index also a lot of limitations in properly highlighting the researchers. So if you read the paper, it is quite interesting. A lot of data they provided and a lot of illustrations they provided. So it points out rightly the gap that many things are not measured. So measuring the unmeasurable. So which is not measurable, that is measured actually. So that means like all your expertise is not completely captured by the H-index, and that is the setback of H-index, what the author is. Okay, so this is again, I'm not claiming that this is totally wrong. So see, we evolve, we set some standards always. That standards we are looking and we feel like, okay, there is some problem, and what to do next? We have to move ahead, right? We have to move ahead. How to move ahead? That's what the next topic. Up to this, if you have any questions, you can ask, because the last part, I want to go with the solutions. And prior to that, can you follow whatever I'm talking? You can ask questions.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can raise now. You can unmute your mic and ask so far. or you want to put the question in the chat box, please put it in the chat box. If you don't have questions, we will proceed.
Is it fine? Can I proceed?
Yes, Professor, you can
Yeah.
proceed. When the session is over, we can have a Q&A
Yes.
session.
So with this, so something is there? Somebody unmuted? Okay.
No.
Okay, right. How to move towards the quality? So first we have to understand in today's scenario, we have bigger strength like internet, we have the bigger strength of connectivity, the papers and the articles and the recent findings and recent innovations, any research reports, everything is available in no time. But we are limited. See, research is a bigger window, but we have only a smaller size of portion, bigger playground. We are seeing with a smaller window each researcher, and we get a overlapping one more window to get the idea about the research. But the research is much bigger. So to achieve the quality in that, to make your work prominent, a lot of standard corrections will be there always. Just imagine, initially there is no mechanism to evaluate. Then they started the indexing concept. So you see these kind of indexes properly, they are very stringent in these journals are very stringent. So these journals are so much of acceptance percentage, and that will be properly verified by the indexing agencies, and the indexing agencies will be put a lot of conditions. Based on that, the indexing will be created. And if this kind of indexing is there, that is a good journal, or that good indexing is there. And like that, a kind of standard they achieve. Then this indexing also not sufficient. How many are read in your article, how much important your article is, that is, they move towards the citations. And based on the citations, they build the H index. H index is another standard they brought in, and that is a level of standard. And now we question this not to complain that we want to make it better and we want to move further better. So that's why I say the quality is not settled. So we cannot say anytime like I have done 100% quality product. We cannot never say that. So we are always marching towards it. We are moving up. We are making it better. Because every time we miss something and we are trying to add that. We are adding one more attribute. So like that, we are moving and we are making it better and better research. For that, what we have to do? So how I am going to tell some top 10 qualities of good academic research. I'm going to talk. So before delivering this qualities, I want to narrate a small my experience. Then I'll come to these points. You can correlate which point is suitable, which point is you can compare with my experience, which I have taken, which I have not taken. You can compare that as a kind of example by example. I'll try to explain this good academic research quality. So my research. So when I started my research, that time computer science engineering, very limited number of research supervisors are available. So I am very particular about one supervisor because I know Dr. S. Kuppasamy. He is a former professor, dean, director in Pondicherry University, and later he was principal in Kongu Engineering College. Now he is a director in the Tiruchengodu institutions. So he was my guide, and he to get a guideship. I waited for 5 years to register my research with my guide. I waited for 5 years. And the reason why I waited, the reason is like he gives a lot of free hand. So he gives a lot of space to think. So he allows me to work freely. So these are all I expected from my guy. So I waited for his nod to take up my work. And meanwhile, waiting period, I'm not simply not idle. I started doing some where I can contribute something. So that time I felt like one of the issue like I'm very fanatic about programming. So I'll do a lot of programs. Till today, I'm doing a lot of codes and they develop products. So like that, at that time, I'm doing some programming, and my mother was watching it, and she was asking like what you are doing, because she could not read anything. She knows Tamil and Telugu only. She doesn't know about she doesn't know English. So actually, I said like, can you read this? She can read the small words. She said like I couldn't get like. So probably if it is in Tamil, I can get that. So she told and she left. So that sparked me like so many Tamil medium schools are there in our state, and so many students are there. So much of knowledge is there. Why there is no tool available in local language so that they can do programming by themselves? Why they are depending on English-based programming languages? So that started my thought process. So I designed one programming language and named as Coral. And I presented that as a research paper in Anna University. And I remember like when I presented the entire big, like huge audience were attending that conference. And so probably many of you know, like a lot of people may know about writer Malan, who was also attending that time, and many people, many scholars, many stalwarts were there, and the entire group is divided into two. Like one team is telling like, so already it is that in English, why to do in Tamil? So we can transliterate it, and if you want, we can convert it to the same like C or Java, whatever programming language we have, we can do it, and we can. Another group is telling like we need it in our own local language. That shows our skill set, and that gives a benefit to our knowledge, and that will be over a period it will improve. So it is a debate, and so the debate not ended in a. We cannot conclude that in that particular forum, and that sparked out many thought process. And I came back, and that time my research topic was not decided. And I was settled with very convenient way, very safe way. I said like I will do some research on algorithms. So tell me some parallel or distributed computing algorithm. I'll do and I'll complete my research. I'm telling my guide. So that time, one of the magazine, I don't know, I forgot the exact name of the magazine. It's some Tozhil Vaniga Mudaleedu or something. It is about industries in Tamil language. They are publishing a magazine. And that magazine got some permission from Anna University. They published a few papers from that conference in their magazine. So my paper also published, I don't know about that. My paper also published in that magazine. And some random person who is from Erode, he read that article, and he felt that it is some good effort, and he wrote a letter to me from the address, whatever in the paper he has seen. He wrote to me like stating that, so it is a very innovative idea. Keep working on that. We are looking for the Tamil people. We are looking for this kind of work. That's what he wrote, and my guide got that letter. And so that time only I'm going to register. So my registration starts. That letter also came. My guide, after seeing the letter, he said, okay, so no very proven path and all, I don't want. You can do a newer path. You can take a newer path. So leave all distributed parallel algorithms. You look into this. He says something. So it is touching somebody's mind, heart. So there is something in that work. You start thinking about that work. You start doing about it. Okay, I started working on that. Slowly, I get into that, how a language is represented, what is the language issues, how the font, how the language is handled in the computer as a font, as a glyph, as a character, how it is handled. So I started digging and I started learning and reading a lot of articles, a lot of things, referring a lot of international papers, because not only in our country we are multilingual, there are many countries are multilingual. If you take US, Spanish is second popular language in US. Many people many people will speak Spanish in US. So like that, many countries are multilingual in nature. So I started understanding that. So after that, I started working. I developed some applications like whatever I written as the programming language. I written a compiler for that language, and I completed that. Then I started working on Windows kind of operating environment, and fully completely working in multilingual. It will work in Tamil, Malayalam, Hindi, and English. I developed I designed my own fonts, and I designed my own drivers, and I have written my own. Like all routines and other file mechanisms, file storage mechanisms, all I have written. And I completed that. And it got some good shape. At that point of time, I started writing my thesis also. And while writing my thesis, I felt that I cannot write a product as my thesis. So whatever architecture I used, using that architecture, I wrote my thesis as a architecture reference model for multilingual system. I wrote that as a thesis, and all my product experience I shared in a chapter as applying arms as a chapter I shared. And this work I got an opportunity to present to Tamil Nadu State Higher Council for Education. That time, Professor Anandakishan was the chairman for that state Higher Council, and he felt that he has seen the complete demo, whatever I developed, and he inspired by that. And he said, like, okay, why can't we standardize many things? I pointed out many things like keyboard, Tamil keyboard is not standardized, the coding scheme is not standardized. Like that, I listed something. And he said, why can't we standardize that? So we will form a standardization committee. And he prepared a standardization committee. All bigger people were there. And so as a young researcher, that point of time, I was invited as a member into the team also, and the committee also. So I got a greater opportunity to work with many people. So I worked with the writer Sujata Rangarajan. You know that as a writer, many may be knowing as a writer. He is a researcher also. He's a specialized. His specialization is electronics, and who is contributor in making the EVM, electronic voting machine. And so I got an opportunity to work with him also, and a lot of international contributors also there in the team. And I got a better experience. I have made a benchmarking and various benchmarking I have done, and I have given the results to the Higher Council in order to standardize the keyboard coding scheme, and that were done in over a period of time. So I completed my thesis. So I'm not settled. My guide is saying like, okay, submit the thesis. Said, sir, I need 10 more days time. Why you want 10 more days? It is over. Everything is over. Why you are holding it? Now, sir, if somebody is reading this thesis, whether he will get something out of this thesis. So whether only the technical people can read it or somebody else can also read it. So I want to see that, sir. He said, like, you are, he knows me about me. Like, he said, okay, you carry on. Okay, you won't settle easily, so you carry on. So I given my thesis to, I selected different people. Like, I selected one technology person. I selected one doctorate person who is a director in animal husbandry. He doesn't have any technology knowledge. I given to him. And I given an English professor. So whether my sentence formation, everything is simple and straightforward, whether it is more complex in delivering things. And I got the feedback from all the three people, and I prepared one list. What are the issues they pointed out? I prepared one list and I shown to my guide. These are the points they said. Like, here if you make some improvements, that will be useful for many people to read. So I made that, and my guide accepted that. He appreciated me when you are saying. I thought like you are wasting your time, but now I feel it's good. They pointed out some good ideas. So I took the thing and I made the correction, and I completed my thesis, and I submitted it. Okay. So and I got so when my Viva was there, normally Viva, the external comment, they'll say like recommendations, highly recommended, like that they'll give. Here, in my case, it is highly recommended, but with the condition that the scholar has to show a demo. He has claimed many implementations. We want to see the demo. As an examiner, I want to check the demo. So in the Viva, I not only presented my work, I demonstrated my work, and I demonstrated all my products. So it is a greater. So since I have done it, I'm really enjoying that, and I've done that complete presentation. And after that, I got an opportunity to present in a doctoral colloquium, and my work got best thesis award and best presentation award also I got. And like that, I started moving. So whether that is over, my research is over. That's all. So I completed everything. That's all. It is beyond that. I got my PhD, right? That's it. So I got my guideship, and I'm going to guide my scholars, and like that it is going to. So, but my mind is like revolving on that, like whether I have to do something more. Or, meanwhile, over a period, I found out that one of the European university, for their software engineering laboratory work, they took my thesis as a reference, and they given an exercise based on my thesis. I found out that. And one more place, I found out that another university, 2 students are written their MS thesis based on my work, how to make internationalization of this work, and how to market this work, how to commercialize this work. This kind of work I have seen as a MS thesis, I have seen. So this is, as a researcher, I felt very happy, and I continued my multilingual research still. I built a metric system for how to measure efforts in developing a multilingual system. For that software metrics, I with my scholar, we made a work. So it is continuing. Okay, it is continuing. So this, whatever experience I shared, this is my personal experience, my research experience. I not spoke about my scholars and others, spoke about this. So with this, I'll go on these questions. Anywhere you can correlate it, I'm very happy. So in top 10 qualities, they are pointing out, number one is good research is anchored on a sound research question. The sound research question, which makes the sound. Whether good citation journal paper, which will give that question, or which some research report which gives that question, or already done some work where there is some limitation by your senior researcher or somebody. From that point, you have started your research, or there is some social issue. It may be you are addressing that social issue. That may be your research question. So good research is anchored on a sound research question that motivates you, that takes you to real work on the right path. So that we need a good literature survey. I've seen one of the session is on literature survey, how to make a good literature survey. I think Professor Martin is doing, I think. So there is one session I've seen. So that good research is anchored on a sound research question. And now that sound research question, I got a sound research question from Erode, some unknown face. From him, I got that sound research question that motivated me to work on the topic. Good research follows a systematic, appropriate research methodology. So before taking up any, yes. Yes, any questions? Please. Is it audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Audible, sir.
Proceed, sir.
Yeah.
Nobody asked any questions, sir. Please.
Okay, I'm continuing. Okay. So, good research follows a systematic, appropriate research methodology. That means like how you are going to carry out research. We have different approach in the research. Research methodology. You have different approach you can do, like a database you can do, or you can make qualitative, quantitative, any kind of research you can make. But why you are choosing it? Whether you have the proper justification that, and you follow the proper method in carrying out that. So it should be very systematic. So take step by step and you check all the checklist has to be ticked all points has to be ticked. So that ensures a proper research and it will not put you down, it will not let you down anywhere. Okay. So good research follows a systematic and appropriate research methodology. The third point is good research acknowledges previous research on the topic. So previous research on the topic, it is obviously it should acknowledge, because any other previous findings, any other pioneers, the topic where you are working, that has to be studied and properly addressed, and how you are taking forward. It is something like a relay race kind of thing. Research is a kind of relay race. Nobody can own any research space as an individual. So even a Nobel laureate, he cannot hold the entirety with him. So it is keep on moving. It is keep on improving. It is keep on taken by further levels by next generations. So you got an opportunity to take the torch and run further from your previous researcher, and obviously that has to be acknowledged. So that shows the proper linkage from where from your work started and how it is leading towards. And good research uses relevant empirical data and proper data analysis methods. So again, here about the data, when it comes to the data, so the relevant data for our problem, research problem, and it is whether it is empirical or whatever means it is, and appropriate data analysis methods we have to apply. In today's scenario, we have much more data analysis techniques are there, like analytics technique, data analytics techniques are there, and you can move further, like you can use some machine learning techniques also, you can use it. But very important is relevant data, and it should be in complete shape. And when it comes to the data, it is really very, very tricky and critical. And if you have your own primary data, it's okay. But depending on secondary data, you have to ensure the completeness. You have to check the validity of the data. And many other time we may overlook, and we may consume the data with outliers, and some kind of compromise we will make due to the time, or due to the the quantum of work, due to the data availability, we may compromise. So if you compromise that, good research will go off. So good research uses relevant and empirical data. Now, luckily, many data sources are coming into place. Like a lot of repositories are there. Many repositories are there. Only problem is all are not in the Indian context. I believe sooner or later our own repositories will come up in near future. I wish St. Joseph's College also will take up some initiative related to this. So if you have any your cloud or your server, you can also initiate like any research related data you have. You can validate that and you can deposit, so that many researchers can take and use that. And that repository over a period, it will build up like anything. So, so these kind of initiative, I just always appreciate my my scholars always, like you take forward, and many of our scholars data are validated and properly ordered, and that will be deposited in the repositories, in various repositories. Okay, And moving to the fifth point, good research is representative and generalizable. So what is representative? What is generalizable? So it is a bit tricky. Look at on the statement. When you are representing, how it will be generalizable. When it is generalized, how it is representative. So that both are two ends actually. So I'll go with my research example, so I can easily you can easily correlate that. So when I made multilingual architecture, as an example, I took Tamil, Malayalam, Hindi, and English. Those are all representatives of languages. Tomorrow, I want it for Spanish, French, and Italian language, or Greek, or something else, Japanese or Chinese. I can go for it. It is the model, my architecture model is generalized. My product, whatever I developed using that architecture, is representative. It is a representative. So one of my product is a representative out of that architecture. My architecture is very, very generalized. So good research represents both representative as well as generalizable. Okay. And good research is guided by logic. So there should be some logic, there should be some meaning, there should be some relevance with either directly or indirectly with the society. It has its own recognition in the society. So just imagine in Indian scenario, so much of COVID we have, and what kind of research what we have done and how much we contributed towards that, and which organizations took part in the preparing that injection, and how many labs are ready for that, whether we had the sufficient labs to go for that research. So just imagine, when a pandemic comes, it is a big burden for the entire society. But there is an opportunity for the researcher to take forward and find a solution and give a solution and give a remedy to the entire society. So always any problem is, any barrier is the stepping stone for the researchers. So any good research, go with a good logic, and you will end up with a better result. Good research has external validity. When I say external validity, some third person has to validate it, good research. With my context, you can easily correlate that. And there are many good validity we achieve generally. What we do is we will publish papers on various chapters, and each chapter is published. Once it is published, it is reviewed by many times, and it is standardized. And on seeing that, any examiner sees that, on seeing that each chapter is published as a paper, automatically the entire thesis already validated, and the examiner's role is so minimal now. So examiner is like, he has to give his own comments as a whole thesis, whatever comments he will give, and the external validity gives the strength to the research, complete research. And even the research outcomes, whatever you are taking forward, external validity will give a kind of promotion towards your work. Good research is replicable. Replicable means you can take that, and you can take that model and you can apply for some other application, and you can reproduce, again recreate that, and transparent. So any research should not stop somewhere. My research is over, after that nothing is there. Cannot say like that. So it should be always a kind of provisioning in such a way that it can be replicable. So what it means actually, that your research has to be very transparent, then only it will be available to the other researchers to think about it, whether this is applied in this domain, why can't I apply in my domain? So that kind of replication will come, and he'll be like, oh, you applied in this region of people or in this region of data, I will be applying on this kind of variety of data, I will be applying. And reproducible, I can reproduce it for various purpose in order to give out the results. So good research should be transparent, applicable, and reproducible. And ninth quality is good research acknowledges its limitations. So if you are writing a thesis, sure you have to mention where you have missed something or where you cannot go beyond because of your scope is limited to this level. So what is the scope to move further? So where and all your research is limited, that limitation has to be stated. So that provides biggest scope to take further research on that limitations. So that opens up a gate that where that point only you are passing the stick to the next researcher to run in the research rally. Okay, so good research acknowledges its limitations and provides suggestions for future research. Good research is ethical. When I say ethical, all it comes into picture like plagiarism, quality, favoritism, and giving wrong thing to the society. So it should not be anything that. So you should understand your research is a kind of reference for years and years together. So it should contain the valid things only. It should not contain anything wrong or incorrect or imperfect. So that ethical part, any researcher has to concentrate. It's very, very, very important. Today, we have a lot of plagiarism checking software, and many of the organizations are imposed that you have to do a plagiarism check, and that certificate has to be enclosed to the thesis. Plagiarism part, we are trying to. But how to overcome the plagiarism? Again, there are many shortcuts. There are many tricky things how to cheat the plagiarism checking software also. Many people are trying. What my suggestion is like, see, it is your work. You should be proud of your work. Any work you are doing as a research, you should speak in any platform, anywhere, happily, proudly, and with a lot of satisfaction you have to speak. And any of your research work, your research document should be proud to put on table and share with your friends or share with your peers, share with any researchers who is interested to do research in that particular topic. So good research should always be ethical. So these are the 10 qualities to have a good academic research, and which will automatically lead to the quality, and the quality is never ending. That's why we are trying to move the ladder up. So all these indexing, scoring, ranking, all this will take us further and further. All will get improved and improved. Tomorrow, instead of H index, some other index will come. Tomorrow, instead of psi index or Scopus index, some other index will come. But all these are all keep on evolving and making us better and better. And we are always striving for high quality research, and we are marching towards that. So with this, I'm completing very important 3 papers I have shared here, the link. And if you have any questions, you can post it. I am ready to answer.
Participants can unmute your mic and ask your queries. You can post it in the chat box also.
So any questions?
Participants, you can ask any clarification, anything about this, about the research.
So whatever you feel about the quality, whatever I spoke, you have any contradictory opinion, you can share. You feel like why this, why that, you can ask. So whatever I know or whatever I experience, I'll share.
Professor Satyanarayana sir, do you want to say?
Thank you, Krishnavani, for your appreciation. I am expecting questions. Thanks, Dhrutra Mary, for appreciation. I am expecting some questions. So,
Professor Satyanarayana sir, do you want to say anything, sir?
Oh, yeah. It's excellent presentation. Wonderful. He has covered most of the topics, subtopics that are important to maintain quality. And it's rightly pointed out that, the researcher and the guide, and then the institutions. Okay. These are the three important pillars for quality. So, to begin with, actually, to maintain quality, institutions say quality. One of the solutions, what I would suggest is that institutions should provide opportunities, should provide, for example, Professor Shankar sir wanted to do some advanced research. He wants to have some software, which is available, which he has to spend some 2 lakhs or 3 lakh rupees on software. Whether university is providing that or not. University doesn't provide infrastructure. It doesn't provide facilities, and it wants quality. How is it possible? So I would rather say that whenever the institution is emphasizing quality, it should start the steps to ensure that, For example, here, I wanted to have a software, structural equation modeling software, Lizerl package. I went to my dean. I said, sir, I want a Lizerl package. Okay, have a seat. I was sitting there. So what is software? Lizerl package. Immediately he called secretary. I want to see the software being installed before evening 5 o'clock on his machine. I went around 2 o'clock. Within 3 hours, the software was installed on my machine. Immediately, he asked me, what is the link? I gave the link from where he can buy the software. He contacted, they paid money, they got software installed on my laptop. So this is a simple example of how the institutions have to come forward to supply what researcher needs. Now, simple example, the same thing is to be done in India. I'm not blaming the bureaucracy, how it works. I have to go to the head of the department, I have to give application, he will take it to the dean. Sir, Satya wants to have a software. Dean will take it, he will send to the budget committee, they will approve it. They say, what is the need of this? What is the use of this? How many people use it? Is he alone using all these things? And it takes about 6 months. After 6 months, he'll say, I'm sorry, we have limited budget, we cannot give. So who is at fault? Number one, to maintain quality, institutions should come forward. Another example, Professor Father Alex, he wants to do advanced research. They don't have spaces installed anywhere in the entire college. If I am wrong, please correct me. So where the students will go, where the researchers will go? They go to statisticians, or roadside shops. Statisticians are called roadside shops, right? They purchase and then they maintain all these, right? And then they run analysis about the topic which they do not know. They don't know anything. Statisticians do not know anything. These are the people who are spoiling the quality of the research. Today, I have completed about 500 PhD thesis evaluations. Almost all the thesis students, they have gone to the statisticians. They do not do anything. They just simply run the data. Cross-tabs analysis. Okay. And fact analysis, oblique rotation, variance rotation, everything, what all spaces, the menu bar is there, they go down, they put everything, tons of data, which is totally useless. So quality should start, as you rightly pointed out, quality should start with researcher, guide, institution. All these three should combine together to produce quality. Then you will have good outlets. You will definitely find good outlets, good journals, Emerald Journal, Elsevier Journal, Sage, Taylor and Francis, Springer, Wiley. You will definitely get it provided if the quality is good. I mean, if I think I am taking more time, sir, please.
True, sir. True, sir. Very, very well said, sir. Actually, in Pondicherry University, we have an instrumentation center where we have installed very, very costly experimentation equipments in life science, physical and chemical sciences, and earth science for their requirement. Those equipments can be used by anybody by booking an appointment. So any researcher from any institution, they can book an appointment, they can come and they can conduct the experiment, they can go. So like that, I believe all institutions has to start, or at least a consortium can be built and they can buy, they can provide. So always there is, if you think there will be a way and there will be a solution also, we can see it.
But I visited your university, sir. I came to your department too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I came, I think in those days, Professor Anjaney Swami
Yes,
was the
sir.
dean.
Yes, sir.
And I came to your department, I met also. And your central university, you got good funding and all that. I'm
Yes.
talking of the institutions where they do not have much funding.
Yes,
They
sir.
have to come forward, yeah.
True, sir. True. But what we can do is, sir, we can build a consortium, sir. We can club a set of institutions, state level, district level. I think we can build and we can try to share those things. So those mechanisms has to be developed for a period.
That is a good idea, Professor. Maybe that we can do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Truly, sir.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can talk.
Saravanan Shah, you have raised your hand. You can ask your question.
So, good evening, Professor.
Good
I'm
evening.
a research scholar. I'm doing on political science.
Yeah.
So, I have a basic questions only. When you're collecting some sample data, right?
Yes.
You said we can use data in software based also, as well as in hard copy based also. So, any proportions of having these two sample data, or when you are presenting times and or when you're making some thesis time and all, these are some hard copies I have taken from a set of people. These are I've taken hard copies, soft copies, which I went some through some block wise or through any app wise. I can collect some data. Can I use it for the research thesis presentation, sir?
If it can be validated, if it can be scrutinized, if it is transparent, we can take it. But if it is not validated, it is very, very biased data, how you can take it. So
how can I make that such a quality of data that I collected through
that's what I told about repositories. There are many repositories available. Those repositories, they accept the data after validating, after querying about the details, after standardizing the data, they accept and they will have that repository. So from there you can take it. But for your requirement, either you have to go for primary because primary will be very useful for you. Then depending on this kind of data, or otherwise, if you are collecting from any standard documents and other things, that the standard, the validity of the standard documents has to be established.
Okay, sir. So repositories, we have to pay and then get it, or
many repositories are free. Many repositories are free.
All right, sir.
And now I feel this forum here, many processes are there, many institution representing people are there. They can think about repository. Alex Father, I am requesting you also. St. Joseph College also can start up a small repository. Whatever data you are creating, you can validate and you can deposit. So many researchers can come and they can also use that same data. So any research has to be continued, right? The data should not end the life with a single research.
Right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
Thanks a lot, sir.
All the
Very
best.
informative and very helpful for me, sir. Your presentation is very excellent, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am Emily, you wanted to ask any question? Ma'am Emily, you raised your hands. Dr. Emily. Dr. Prem Kumar, you want to
Yes,
ask
sir.
any question? Yes, Prem Kumar, sir. Please.
I'm very thankful to sir with your examples, with your work. You explained the consequences is very much appreciated, sir. Thank you for sharing your
Thank you, sir.
experience.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So anything you want to ask with me, sir? Thank you, Sarimuthu, sir. Sir, Prem Kumar, sir, anything you want to ask?
Prem sir, do you have any queries, sir? Prem Kumar, sir. Dr. Prem Kumar.
I don't have. Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Sir, shall I ask you one question regarding that plagiarism?
Yes.
Certain times, even our name is showing in the plagiarism software as plagiarized, and basic terms also it shows as plagiarized. How to rephrase it, sir? Because sometimes we try to reduce the plagiarism less than 10%. Certain times the word has, everything is showing in plagiarism. Or what does it actually means? Why it's showing in plagiarism?
Actually, if you are using a proper plagiarism software, anti-plagiarism software,
I am using Turnitin, sir.
Turnitin, and there is a provision to number of words. Okay, you can set for 5 words or 10 words can be ignored. Like within that 5 words or 10 words, if it is repeated, it is not treated as a plagiarism. And see, with normal, whatever you mentioned is within that only it will be. Okay. So that can be ignored. There is a provision in the Turnitin software.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Any other questions, or we can go for next thing? Okay. Okay, no questions. Over to Madam Bonashwari. Ma'am.
Father.
Before that,
please.
I thanks the organizers and Father Alex for giving an opportunity to share my views with a bigger forum. And I thank Satyanarayan sir, who is really complimenting my presentation. And I thank to all participants. Very patiently they listened, and a lot of appreciation whatever they sharing. Thank you all.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, sir. You told that research is bigger than a playground, but we see it in a small window. Very true, sir. We are very sure that this FDP will help us, will be an eye-opener for us, and we can gain more research knowledge. And your sharing of how to make a quality research along with your personal experience was also very interesting, sir. And it may be useful for the future researchers also. All these valuable insights which you gave us today was giving us a new perspective that how one should adopt while doing a qualitative research. And we are very delighted, and we enjoyed your presentation, sir. Thank you so much for being with us and for supporting us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So thank you, Father. So anything else, Father? That's it?
Now it is Professor Puneet, sir. Yes, I can request you to give the vote of thanks.
Yes. A very pleasant and happy evening to everyone gathered here. It is my pleasure, and I feel honored to deliver vote of thanks to an intellectual gathering. I feel gratitude to thank our esteemed father, Peter Rajendram, Secretary, for his gracious attitude and enabling all us to enhance our career by making us to organize these kind of academic programs in our institution. I thank you for all your continuous motivation and stimulation to all of us, and for granting to conduct this event. Thank you, Father. Next, a man with a similar track, a man with the key insights in developing the institution and faculties. Yes, I extend my hearty thanks to our respected principal, Dr. M. Armachelvan sir, for his continuous support to all of us and joining in spite of his joining this program in spite of his busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir. Next, I feel humbled to convey my gratitude to the respected Vice Principal, Dr. J. June Arakiraj sir, for his splendid contribution for the college and for the supports rendered by him in conducting this event. Thank you so much, sir. I extend my wholehearted thanks to Dean of Studies, Dr. Father A. Alex, the man of discipline, the man with jest, a man who continuously wanting to conduct events in enhancing the institution. I thank you so much, Father, for your delightful guidance and friendly support in making this program. I also, on behalf of our college, my special thanks to dear speaker of the day, sir, respected sir. You have given a opening presentation on secondary player in publishing. Actually, none consider it as an important for publishing. Really a novel information to us. Also, deliverable and standards for publishing article were explained in simple way and also in new angle. We are delighted, sir, and enjoyed our presentation, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us and support us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I'm extend my special thanks to the organizing secretaries. They are taking part behind the scene. Dr. A. Venkatesan is taking part of technical section. Dr. G. Bhuneshwari is undertaking the master of ceremony. And Mrs. R. Batmapriya is taking care of registration, sharing the link and feedback. So without their support, this program cannot conduct in smooth way. Who kept on working and coordinating along with me in conducting this program. Thank you, sirs and madams. I also thank all my dear faculty participants, students, scholar participants from various institutions and from our institution. Without you all, this program would not have accomplished. Thank you so much for your excellent support to conduct this event smoothly. I also thanks to all other souls who directly and indirectly supported and helped, assisted me in making this second event a complete one. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was very detailed and excellent out of thanks. Thank you very much, sir. Participants, kindly fill your feedback form.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. We sincerely thank the resource person, Dr. Prasanna Venkatesan. We sincerely thank Satyanarayana sir for being present to all these full hours, fully concentrating, fully seated. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, all the international participants. Thank you, each and everyone.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father. So,
thank you.
Can I leave, Father?
Yes, sir. We will leave, sir.
Thank you all. Once again, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Professor Satyanarayana sir, thank you, sir.
Yes. No, thank you very much. I have been learning and enjoying a lot. We covered so many areas, excellent areas, and people should follow the quality research. As he rightly pointed out, good outlets. First thing is that, of course, tomorrow you have plagiarism and then clone journalism.
Tomorrow, Dr. Martin is speaking on how to conduct literature.
Yeah.
Okay. Today you will be speaking on fully on papers.
Yeah. Okay.
Today is on plagiarism and fake journals.
Right. Even so, Friday, right? Fake journals.
Friday.
Okay. I'm going to send you some journals where I was going through. They say UGC listed journal having 7.4 impact factor.
It's not possible.
So I really don't understand how they mention that in the website. The website itself, it says, and they also say, you submit a paper, within 24 hours it will be published.
That means it is a fake journal. Yes.
Yeah. So,
Professor Prem sir is leaving. Okay. Yes.
Okay. I think so.
One minute. Sir, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Prem sir, Professor Satyanarayana sir, Professor Prem Kumar was my teacher, was my income tax teacher.
Oh,
became
good, good.
non-practice teacher.
So are you paying tax now?
I'm proud. I feel proud and
No
say like
income,
this, Father.
professor. No income, no tax.
No income. No, even if you don't have income, you have to pay taxes.
Oh, yes, yes. If you buy anything,
Yeah.
if you avail services, you have to pay the tax. Yes, professor.
Okay. Okay. Take care. And I think today's session is over. Right?
Thank you so
Okay.
much. We'll see tomorrow. Professor.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Tell me, Father.
Thank you so much, Prem sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Prem sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Punisilan sir. See you tomorrow.
Ah,
See
yeah.
you tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, yes, Professor.
Yeah.
Tell me, Father.
Sir, see, he left. Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Prem sir, thank you.
I'm very proud
Oh.
to listen these words. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Punisilan, sir.
Thank
Next
Sir,
is what?
John.
Next is the next. Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Professor.
VP, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Prem, thank you. Network issue போல இருக்கு.
Yeah. Network issues, Professor. Okay, Professor.
Okay, Professor. See you tomorrow.
Okay, Professor. Bye. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you, Professor. Thank you.